Mm. Good afternoon. It's better. Today we're going to go over the subject verb rules, subject verb practice quiz, and with some looking forward to what we'll do next week, which is more grammar, but also introduce you to some ideas that I have floating around for essay number 1, in case you want to get a head start on it. Very briefly, I'm going to discuss some class policies and stuff like that, just to get it out of the way, to clear the air, whatever, however you want to look at it. Wish my fan was on. It's kind of stuffy in here. Not stinky, stuffy. Did you all know that the British have a slang word for flatulence? Artie, did I say this the other day? I think it's hilarious. Trump. Like a trumpet, I guess. You know, that kind of thing. I made a trump. No, I really didn't, but so I'm logged in 2 places. I'll try to address you all through this one in a more personal way. And then when I'm sharing screen, I'll go to that one and probably stop my video over here so that you don't have to see my profile. The email that I sent out yesterday, the short version of all this is, I asked my earlier class, hey, anybody got a problem with me? You got some criticism you want to level at me? Go ahead. I'm willing to listen to it now, but not during the middle of class, because that kind of happened. If you do, you can say it and I'll dismiss it and we'll move on for the most part. So if you want to say, hey, I don't like the way you talk, I don't like the way you share information, I don't like the way you use class time, I don't like the way you, whatever that's related to our class, I'll listen and then I'll nod my head and say, I don't care. Then we move on. Short of my actually doing something that's, you know, unprofessional or, you know, against the law or whatever, I don't support you in your critique of how I conduct class. So I use class time the way I choose and better facilitate the greatest number of you succeeding in the class. So what happened is I went to address the email that I sent out only for clarification, so that, I mean, in sum, I could say it in one sentence. Don't take it personal. Nobody. All of my emails, or in general, all my emails go out to everybody. I have no person's name in mind. I have no person's situation in mind. I'm just going by general kind of movement regarding like getting emails and stuff like that. So this is a student in one of my classes, took it personal. Like I was talking specifically about that person and that person's situation, which I didn't even remember what was going on with that person. So in sum, any of that information, it's not meant to you. That's all I meant by it's not, you're not unique, you're not special. You're not, I don't sit over here going, Amari Carr, let me get her. No offense, Amari. You just happen to be right in front of me, your name. So don't take it that way. All of my, not all, but many of my emails that go out, unless I directly address you by name, unless I address you by name, that means a whole bunch of other people are reading the same message. So if it says something in there that hurts your feelings, it wasn't meant for you. If I have to deal with you personally, I'm going to address you by name and, whatever the situation is. And then you'll know I'm not talking to anybody else, just you. I don't open quizzes once the quiz has passed a due date and has been graded, because then the grades become available. I mean, not the grades, but the answers become available. And well, should be for obvious reasons why you couldn't do that. I don't do retakes because you did poorly on a quiz. This quiz today, if you were paying attention on Tuesday, you would know it really doesn't matter. It's practice for you. If you got it wrong, I don't care. If you got them all wrong, I don't care. If you got half and half, it doesn't really matter. It was just a practice for you before I present it to you, the rules of grammar that will help you, well, the rules of subject verb agreement, that will help you, presumably help you with that what I'm calling the real quiz. Practice quiz doesn't get included in the grade book. At some point, maybe I can use it as a participation thing if I look back and see all the things that you did or didn't do. So I think that's it for the email for clarification about what I was saying. Don't take it that I was saying you're not special as a person, you're not unique as a person. Of course, you're all unique and special. Your situations aren't. That particular person was talking about having a family member. She was upset about a family member who got killed by the police, which is kind of going to be relevant to our conversation today. But I didn't even remember that. But I have had many students who had family members killed by the police or some other shooting or whatever. So it's not a new thing. It's a bad thing for whoever it's happening to. But on my end of it, it's not like, oh no, yours is, oh, I gotta change all the rules for that. So that's what all that was about. Today, we're going to go through the practice quiz, and you're going to help me, I hope, by providing what you think you either answered or what the answer should be, and maybe help explain why it is what it is. I can preview that and tell you a lot of you are going to say, well, it just felt right. It sounded right that way, which is half good. That's a good thing. And it's also half bad because a lot of a lot of things that sound right are actually wrong. So you have to kind of be able to balance between, it sounds right, but what's the rule? Because we talk poorly in general. People, sloppy is a bad word, but I don't know. We seek paths of least resistance in all things that we do, including speech. So that's how we get maybe. I'm going to try to share screen over here, and we'll see what happens. So right here, these videos from last week, if you're following my cursor, which is going crazy, these are the passwords, but I'm eliminating that. This was day one, so that doesn't really matter, but this was the syllabus one, and this is the password that you're supposed to supply. But to get rid of passwords, now what I'm doing is I'm just converting it to a YouTube file, a YouTube video. And so that's what I'll put for this week's videos and from here on out. So all you have to do is click on the link to view the video. I was having trouble because when I do this, I couldn't copy. See, I can't copy and paste the password. I have to go from screen to screen and try to remember all that, mumbo jumbo stuff, equals and percentages and all that. Down here is the week we're in. That was your practice quiz. That's what we're going to look at now. I'll come back to the real quiz, which is right here. Preview it. So I'm going to go through these one by one, and you can help me out to any extent that you want to, or any amount that you want to. You can just tell me what the right answer is. If somebody wants to supply me with the right answer and the reasons why it's the right answer. That's what's really important.
Are we answering the first one right now?
Yes, sir. Ashley and her mother. You put R. Anybody question him on that one? Remember, no matter what you think you got right or wrong, the answers are just not right. So I haven't set the answers. R. You are correct. It is R.
Let's go. Let's go.
That's because you have 1 plus, basically, and plus 1 is more than 1, which is a plural. Plural. Let me clarify something. I wish I could pull something up for you. You all know nouns and pronouns, right? A noun, a car, that's singular. Cars is plural. A boy, singular. Boys, plural. Man, singular. Men, plural. Most plurals are not like man and men, in that the plural from the singular changes by just adding an S or an ES. So it goes from singular to a plural with an S or an ES. Forget you know that when it comes to subject-verb agreement, because now when it's plural, which is this, it's going to have an S or an ES. When it's singular, it's going to have an S or an ES. So Ashley is a singular. Ashley is, her mother is. But when it becomes plural, it loses the S or ES. So it's kind of like the opposite of nouns. So Omar is correct. We have a 1 and a 1, a she and a she, and they are at the mall. That one, I hope, is pretty straightforward and you can hear it. Of course, what happens in writing is you're typing along real fast and you get to her mother and your mind hears mother and my type is. Question 2. Anyone? Any man?
I didn't get this one right, so I don't know.
Well, you might have gotten it right and it just marked it as wrong. How many is any man?
Any man is more than 1.
Any man is more than 1?
Well, no, actually, no, it's 1. Any man, yeah. So 1 man.
Right.
Yeah.
Any single man, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jay Brianna, you were saying something? Hope I'm saying your name right.
Somebody I put doesn't for the first one. I know doesn't should be for the first one. Wait, I think it is.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So man doesn't, because a man is a he. He, she, or it gets an S or an ES. So that helps you with that one. That verb actually goes inside of this clause here. It goes all the way to here. So it's just referencing some extra information about the man. This is our actual verb for the sentence. Any man isn't, aren't, ain't. I hope you know ain't isn't going to be an answer. So we can eliminate that one right away, right? Right here. So Omar told us doesn't. And if we, say that again?
Isn't.
Isn't is correct because we're still working off of any man. He is worth his weight in beans. The bigger letter is first, I'm probably not going to include a goofy sentence as long as that one. But the other thing is, if you have a bunch of information, you have to just be careful because responsibilities is not your subject. I'm going to learn you something real quick. I'm going to teach you something real quick that you don't really have to know, but it may help you kind of understand how to figure out your subject verb. Something we call prepositional phrases. If I asked Omar and Karis, I think was his name, I can't remember, about their other languages, they might say, well, we don't have, I don't know that there are other languages, but they might say, we don't have the same thing as a preposition. These words like of, in, you know, don't have the equivalent because not all languages do the same thing. So he would, if he was a new learner, he might struggle with understanding prepositional phrases because not all languages use them or they appear differently. But a prepositional phrase is one of these kinds of words like of, in, of again, for, at. And they're always followed by a noun or a pronoun. Why do you need to know that? Because that noun or pronoun is not your subject. It can't help you with anything to do with your subject and your verb. Get rid of it. On to 3. Niece or one of her sisters is or are.
Is.
Correct. All right, we're on a roll. This is a tough one too. Why is it is? Because I see sisters right there. Sister sounds like it should go with are to me. And this one has a couple of rules that you have to be kind of mindful of. This question has an either or. So we have a choice right there, right? Denise or. Then down here we have football players or. So we have a choice. The rule is really simple. What's the closest thing to the verb? If you don't know which one it's supposed to agree with, forget the first one, go with the second one. So it sounds like it should be sisters, but that's not really your subject. Your subject is one. And since it's sisters, we know one is going to be a she. So I'm assuming Denise is a sister. Yeah, because it says her. But either she or she, that's basically what that sentence says. You follow all that? She or she is obligated. So if we got rid of one of, let me see if that's right, either Denise or her sisters, and then it would have to be are, because sisters is closest to the verb. Whenever you have the phrase one of, you're taking one out of the bigger pie. So one of those men, one man. One of those football players is one player, even though it sounds plural. Before. This would be called prepositional phrase. This would be called prepositional phrase. Not sure, including can be a preposition. I guess that is a preposition there. I'm not sure about that. But let's call it a prepositional phrase, but certainly this kind of phrase here, including, you see these commas? Important for the rule. When you see some extra information separated by a comma like that, it's not part of the subject. It's just extra information. It's like tagging along with the subject. It's not the same thing as and, or as well as, I'm sorry, it's not the same thing as and, but including, as well as, along with, all those add extra information. They're not part of the subject. So we scratch them out, scratch this out because it's a prepositional phrase, and we're left with the song, last or last. Well, by our rule, it should be easy. The song is an it. It, S or ES, right? He, she, or it, S or ES. It lasts. Why might you pause on that one though? Like, I'm not too sure. Well, I'll give you a hint. The song lasts 2 hours. That's a long song. The song lasts 6 minutes. Did anybody actually hear the S?
No.
I didn't say lasts, right? There are a bunch of words, not a bunch, but several words in our language like risk and last and cost that have that st or sk sound, and we don't hear it when we put S or ES on it. Kind of like ask. He always asks me questions. You'd think I was goofy if I said asks, right? We don't really pronounce it. So if you go in, this is one of those cases, if you're going by sound, it's going to trip you up. Just go by the rule. Song is an it, so S or ES. ES. Same thing applies for like plural nouns when they end in like an ST or an SK. Seems like there's another one I can't think of. Maybe SP. I'm not sure, but like that's one scientist right there, and over in the other room are two scientists, right? Because it's plural. Well, two rules to remember there. Remember about the sound thing, and remember you get rid of all this. It's not part of your subject. You're just looking at that first thing. This one's pretty easy, I think. I hope. $150 is or are an expensive penalty.
Is.
You are right. And it is an expensive penalty. Actually, it's pretty cheap, huh? I think tickets nowadays cost you about $250. But when you think of a lump sum of money or a lump sum of anything, not dividing it into its individual pieces. It's all one piece, it's one unit, the word for it. One unit of amount or sum. So $50 is a unit that is expensive or excessive, sorry. If you were talking about the individual dollar bills, like I had $150 on the table and now they are all over the floor, meaning the $1 bills that somebody knocked all over the floor individually. You're not talking about it as a lump sum. This whole idea of collectives, one thing that has many parts or seems to be one part, but it has many things, is one of the trickier rules that you kind of have to deal with. Like number 6 and number 7 here. How many things is an orchestra? It's one thing, right? That's made up of many parts. So if the rule is if the parts act individually, in other words, they don't act in sync or in a unit with the big thing, then you consider it single things that add together to become plural. So 1 + 1 + 1 + 1, however many musicians are in an orchestra. So if they're doing it separately and assuming they all have separate instruments, they're not all playing the same flute or whatever, and they're all acting separately. So this one, that one, that one, that one, and I add them all up and they become a plural. And your hint there is this right here, by the way. That's plural, and they all share, they have different lockers. So they leave their instruments, their multiple instruments, in lockers. If the orchestra acts as a unit, like when it's playing a symphony, then you would say the SRES word, or the orchestra plays every night and leaves with the S, the audience silent or whatever, I don't know, whatever they leave the audience. So for both of these kinds of things, this one and this one, yeah, this one implies, it's asking you to imply, you're talking about the members or the orchestra as a unit. This one just tells you, committee members. The committee makes decisions every week. One thing makes decisions. The members do something separately. They all have separate signatures in this case, or they eat their lunches separately, or they, fill up their gas tanks separately. Then it would be plural because it's one guy plus one guy plus one guy plus one gal plus one gal and so on. Actually, this is a pronoun question. We're not going to have pronouns on the real quiz. I just left a few on here for educational purposes. They follow pretty much the same rules as the subject verb business. So committee members is a there. This is a past tense. You all understand the difference between past and present tense, right? This is talking about what they did in the past. So put wouldn't change. If we were talking about something they did every day or every week or continuously, then the members put, but the member or the committee puts. If it's acting as one thing, that would be our subject verb thing. Here's a hard one. Who knows number 8? I think it's actually pretty easy, but it's got a lot of things in it that could confuse you. This is a what? That's a prepositional phrase. We scratch it out, and we're left with my neighbor. Makes. And it should sound right to you then. You should hear it. All this stuff is meant to confuse you. It's not.
Is it make?
It's makes with an S. He, I'm assuming the neighbor's a he or a she. He or she makes with an S, strange noises. The junk cars is the plural that can confuse your mind if you were writing. Vroom is obviously not an answer. Here we have a choice again. We have players, that's a they. And we have a coach, which is a he or a she. He or she always gets what on its verb form? What's wrong with my thing? He or she, S or ES. So we're going to go with that one, right? The players or the coach carries the responsibility. Remember, it's always the thing that's closest to the verb. So the coach is closest here. If we reversed it, it would be either the coach or the players. Then the players would come and no S or ES, so it would be carried. My general suggestion when you're writing, if you have an either or an either nor, and it's one singular and one's plural, you might be better served to always put the plural second. It's going to sound better to have it second. Doesn't change the rule, it just sounds better. Faculty. Faculty is one of those collective. Are we talking about faculty members or faculty as a whole? I think here we mean faculty members. Each teacher this teacher, that teacher, every teacher, they need to instruct students. This is a pronoun problem, by the way. I can't think of an example where they would be acting individually. Faculty needs to change their phone numbers before the semester begins because they all have to do it separately. We're not worried about that. Right now, we're just worried about these last three have to do with pronouns and what's called pronoun case. And it's not going to be on the exam, so don't worry about it. Just understand it. So when you're writing, if I correct it, I hope you know that me, I'm smart is not a smart sounding way to say that, right? Case just means you're misusing a pronoun in the sentence. Me is the same thing as I, it just serves a different function. I like you, you like me. I would not say you like I. So when you look up here, you might remember your teachers in middle school or whatever, they said you have to finish the phrase or finish the clause. So in this case, it would be, although he claims to be smarter than I am smart. It's not how we talk. This is one of those. Sounds funny. It's not how we talk. But if you said I, it would sound okay. He's smarter than I. Now you sound smart. My roommates get lower grades than I get. Same thing. So it's I here. Just like if you remember Cookie Monster, that was a case thing when he would say, me want cookie, right? Me love cookies. Case thing. He means I, but and little kids you might hear talk like that, me angry at daddy, whatever, because they haven't quite, they haven't, whatever the right word, they haven't included in their language yet. This one's a similar thing. It's a thing. Whenever you read a subject, so the subject here is two winners. Well, who are the two winners? Michelle's a winner and I'm a winner. Whenever you repeat, you use the subject case. So I would be the right one because they're going to do something. That's what case is. You have one case that's a doer. I do things. One case that's a getter. You give me a present. I get the present. You give it to me. And one's a possessive. You own something. When you give me a present, then it becomes mine or my present. That's all that case means. I'm just trying to get you to kind of understand a few of the ones that can be a little ugly. So if you scratch this part out, who's going to go on to the bonus round? Well, Michelle and I are going to go on to the bonus round. It's acting as a doer. That's my hint. You're not going to have that on the exam. And this is more case business. Here's my stuff about prepositions. He talks about my sister. Prepositions are followed by objects. So if, let's say you are, I don't know, who's in class today? You are Karis. Karis, am I saying your name right? You're a male.
Yeah, Karis, I guess.
You're an I.
Right.
That's how you refer to yourself. But if I said he talks negatively about Mr. Mary and Karis, well, how would I replace Karis? Well, I would say him in that case. Talk really about him. Well, if you're saying it, you would say talks negatively about me, not about I. That's called hypercorrection. When people do that, you'll hear people do that. Between you and I, when they really mean between you and me, because between is a preposition. But you don't really have to worry about those. The last thing I want to make sure you're aware of with, in regard to subject-verb agreement, and I went over this a little bit the other day, but I know there are a couple of questions that you might see on the quiz. They're called expletives, which is also the word for like bad words, but in this case, they're pointing adjectives. Here is my supper. There is your dog. Where are my shoes? You have to be careful with those three constructions because the verb comes before the noun. So shoes comes after where is or where are. So you have to look behind it. How does that get confusing in our speech? Well, it gets confusing through our contraction because even I will often say, where's my something plural? Where's my pens that I had earlier today? Where's my picks? I'm looking at guitar picks. Where's my something plural? You'll hear people do that all the time because we're making it contraction. But you would notice it if they said, where is my shoes? So I just want to make you aware of those three types of things that can cause subject verb issues. By issues, I mean agreement issues. Agreements about making it go together the right way. Questions about subject verb agreement, the practice quiz. I'm going to show you the way the real quiz is displayed for you and what you need to know about it. Modules. Here, it's right here. If I see it. I think it opens at like 4:30 today, whenever our class might be over. 4:15 or something. Well, you have until Monday evening to accomplish it. So if you like to study a lot, well, you get 3 days or whatever, 4 days. If you like to get it out of the way, I would still say to take your time because I'm not going to give you a second chance. So make sure you understand the rules. Review this video if you have to, at least the parts I'm explaining some of those rules. You have 15 minutes to take it. It's a 15-question quiz. It's supposed to be like you read it, you answer it, you read it, you answer it. What else about it? Oh, if I click on it, I'm letting you know when you get to the end, if it tells you got none of them right, don't freak out because wrong answers are designated as correct until the quiz closes. I go back in and change the answers. You'll have, if I showed you a preview, somebody give me a random number and I'll show you. I'll show you. Math, 15? Is that what you said?
Said 5.
I'll show you number 1. Abigail's well as her friends has an answer here. That's going to be considered the right answer, but don't select it because it changed from the right answer. So whatever the clearly wrong answer is, don't select it. It's just my default right answer until I change the answers. I hope you all understand what I'm saying because I guess it could be confusing. So studious.
Are you saying don't pick the obvious answer? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying pick the answer that you think is the right answer and don't worry about how it scores you because it's going to score like number 5. Studious is considered to be right, but it's not right. And so I'm going to go in after it closes on Monday night, Tuesday morning or whatever, I change all the answers back and it regrades it all based upon the actual answers that you chose. This is cheating prevention because students tell me that other students cheat by sharing answers. So if you all want to share the wrong answer, have at it. But I guess you could still get around the whole cheating thing, but at least I did my part. Studies and study are your only two choices there. You're always going to have some good, not right choice. Don't pick it. So that's that. I did want to share with you something else before we finish up today. I've been thinking about like next week sometime offering you the first essay assignment sort of in advance before we actually get there, because sometimes students like to get going on, get it out of the way or whatever. And since our theme is kind of based around technology and the ways that technology affects the way we do things or whatever, I was looking for an article and I found a couple here, technological influences, just something short and sweet that you would read and kind of reply to it, and then provide your own examples of what you're arguing, whether technology helps us, hurts us, or a little both. This is some movie that's for round and did this because I was watching the 2021 trailers. That's not really the one, but obviously it's some kind of robots. But this is the movie I was reminded of when I was thinking about the topic, if it'll show up. Anybody know about this movie? It didn't get great scores on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know what that means, but I thought, what's the trailer here? The trailer? Wait, is this the trailer? I'm watching it. If please. Oh, wait. I'm not sharing, am I? I mean, I am sharing, but I'm not sharing correctly. I'm gonna share. I have to do this share computer sound thing. Let me know if it works. I hope it does. Looks like an interesting movie, but that's not really why I'm showing it to. There's one particular.
You remember me?
How you doing tonight?
Doing well, officer.
Can I see your
I'm trying to get
driver's
rid of the
license,
double song.
registration, and insurance, please?
Of course, sir. My license is right here. Hands up! Hey! Wait! Put the phone down! Put that phone! Sir, it's a phone! It's a cell phone! It's just a cell phone! You knew he was unarmed. Get to the car and put your hands in the air! Officer, please, he's just a kid! You pointed your gun at him. Okay, get out of the car, son. Easy. You pulled the trigger. Put the phone away! Put the phone away!
The grand jury determined that no probable cause exists to file any charges against Officer Randall.
This is my son. This is my little boy. You took that from me. The world took that from me. Today we make that right. Hear me when I say this, because I'm only going to say it once. Don't stop filming.
You should just give up now.
Why are we the only people in this country that are expected to do things without violence?
I didn't mean to kill your son!
What you did.
I did what I was trying to do!
I just want justice. That's all I want. This is your jury. The deciders of your fate. Today, you will be tried for the murder of my son. You scared? Are you afraid?
It looks like it might be a very complicated movie. On Tomatoes, didn't give it good. Well, the audience gave it a good score, and tomato, whatever they call it, gave it like 30% or something. So where you fit. But I'm not really all concerned about it as cinema as much as it's kind of dealing with some very important issues. Obviously, the public's dealings with the police. But there was that one moment when he's telling whoever he's coordinating this event with, don't turn off your cameras, don't stop recording. And so I guess it starts. I'm going by what the trailer looks like. It starts with the kid with the camera on the video. So that's one way to think about like how the world has changed. And the world you inherited, most have never gone. Knowing a cell phone or the other technology, but you got to think, well, what if it wasn't, right? And I was talking Childish Gambino's video with the "This Is America" when all the people are holding their cell phone, whatever, and filming. So it's become almost like a prevalent thing, like multiple people. You see all those videos on YouTube where multiple people are filming something at all times. So we're always on camera somewhere, probably being recorded right now by my family. So be thinking about that. The way that movie is available for rent, I don't know, on Prime or something for like $99. I'll probably break down and rent it a weekend. $6.99 is not cheap though, but I usually wait till it's about $3.99. I do. I'll give you my review on Tuesday. So that's about it. Just be thinking about that. Maybe you've had experiences with in social life and in the real world where technology played some kind of crucial outcome, crucial factor in the outcome. If we all had cameras on our dashes, then insurance companies wouldn't have anything to argue about, right? Because it would become clear who was in the right and who was in the wrong, at least clearer. I'm not just talking about cameras, the internet as well. Shoot, I went on one time. I went on the Guitar Center webpage and just looked at some random guitars or whatever. Now, every time I go on like Facebook, I'm getting advertised for those same guitars. They're like $12,000 guitars. I was just looking at them for fun, but they're trying to sell them to me. Now, so technology is communicating with itself through algorithm thing, and trying to me mortgaging my house so I can get a guitar. One last thing I would ask is that next week, you make sure that you come, however you want to think of it, available to show yourself so I can see your face, just so I can put names and faces together. I mean, I can see some of you like Chris, but when you stare at a picture long enough, I'm sure that's happened to you where you think it looks a certain way and then you see him in a different scenario and it's like, oh, I didn't even recognize you from that. So there's no way I'm going to remember everybody's face and names right off the bat, but a little bit at a time can help, So that's it. Let me take roll. I'm open for questions. I'm just going to open up the roll page and I'm here if you got questions. So there was a case, fella who was killed in, I'm not sure I'm saying this right, Killeen, Texas. Does anybody know Killeen, Texas? In some place in Texas.
I live close to there.
Okay. He was a middle-aged guy, 50-something years old, who had some mental concerns or whatever. And I don't know the full story, but the police, like the social services or somebody came out one day, and then the police were called the next day. And long story short, long story short, the guy was shot by the police. So you can look it up. You can the body cam and the doorbell taking. I mean, you don't get a good full picture, the doorbell camera thing and top cameras coming from a different direction, but it's still there. We still have that capability to look at things and to analyze them. And it happened like earlier this year. It was an African American, older guy, unarmed, but also, presenting like a. Right. I'm taking a roll by looking at the screen, and I'll let you know if I don't see your name. You probably hear I just miss it sometimes. Okay. Gianna, are you there? I'm missing you. No, Gianna? Almost done. Chappelle, there you are. Chappelle, am I saying your name right? Chappelle. I always forget where to put the emphasis.
Hello, Mr. Smith. Can you hear me or no?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, because it's like kind of like going in and out for you.
I'm not sure how to say. Ms. Watson, are you here? Oh, there
Yes,
you are.
sir.
Okay. How do you say
Nija.
it first? Nigel.
Nija.
Damn. Nigel.
Yeah, because I think it says your network bandwidth is low or something like that.
Well, good. We're almost done. That's because there's like 12 people in the house on the internet all the time. Cedric,
Okay.
Gabriel, Arias, and Brianna. Sorry.
Here.
Brianna. All right, I got everybody except for G.
I didn't hear
Today,
that didn't hear the last words.
I marked everybody here except for Gianna.
All right. Yeah, I heard that.
The quiz is available soon. It'll stay open till Monday evening. And next, we're gonna look at sentence boundary issues, fragments and splices.
Okay.
That's what you should be ready for. Have a day, have a weekend. Be
Sir?
safe.
Have a good day.
Yes.
Thank you. Too.
Thank you.
Sir, about a quiz, like, can you hear me?
Can.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, so, we have to do the quiz that is due today, right?
That what?
I say, so the quiz is due today? The
No,
one that we
it's
have to do?
open. It's open today and it'll stay open until Monday evening.
Okay, sir,
You
thank
can
you.
do it anytime that you want. It's timed at 15 minutes though, remember that.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Cedric?